speaking of getting going, they got to get going with this Wyndham Classic. There's a few guys that are on the outside looking in at the FedEx Cup playoffs. Isn't that right? Because this is where things start to get interesting for these golfers.
Yeah, Higgins, the Wyndham Championship, not a tournament that I think is so interesting, not a tournament that I think people care a lot about, but Rickey Fowler is a guy I'm a fan of. I think he's a lot of fun. He was part of that young crew coming up just a few years ago, which we've seen Justin Thomas win a few, Kepka win a few. Ricky hasn't done it. He's actually struggled here over the past 18 months, but he's never missed a playoff, like the ability to make the PGA playoffs, which is a thing out there, people. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know this, but in order to qualify, you need to be finishing the top 125 on the PGA Tour. Ricky needs to make the cut in order to make that happen. Higgins, I can't bet him to make the cut here in New Jersey, but I can bet top 20 at plus 260. I think there's enough value there. I think Ricky wants to come out, show that he's turned a corner, that these past 18 months are behind him. He's ready to start playing some good golf. I'll take top 20 plus 260. I think that's a fair bet. He's got some motivation this weekend, Higgins. It's not the strongest field in the world, so Ricky Fowler, come on, time to break that slump.
Yeah, Ricky Fowler, that's a very good find of someone that should be in the playoffs. I mean, that's a very formidable name. You look at the outrights, he's plus 5,500 because that's just a name that people can kind of gravitate to. It's a familiar name in golf. And you speak of the past 18 months that he's hit a drought. He's not the only one. I mean, we saw this with Jordan Spieth before he snapped a cold streak earlier this year. Rory's kind of been in one. There's been a few other players that it's been noted of as well. So Ricky's not alone. Making the cut is a good opportunity. I do have a little bit more odds though in Oregon, Brett. I'm gonna stay away from them for you because it's a little too close to the pillars, and I don't want to steal your reasoning at least. But if I wanted to bet on Ricky Fowler to make the cut, it's minus 195 in Oregon. That's a little too rich for me. But if I thought Ricky Fowler would have finished in the top 40, it's minus 110. So I think you're getting a little bit of better value for top 20 at plus 260. But top 40 might be a little bit more realistic, I think, even though it's a little bit fairer value. I think you're getting some great value at that plus 260, and Ricky's definitely capable of that type of play.
Yeah, plus the top 40 bet, excuse me, not the plus. The top 40 bet at minus 110 is pretty interesting, Higgins. I wouldn't be mad at you if you ended up wagering on that. I think that one seems to make a lot of sense.
It's different enough, okay. Well, Webb Simpson is the favorite in this one, like you said, at plus 1,000. He's followed in odds by Hideki Matsuyama, who just played rather well and was in a playoff with Abraham Ancer last week. A very interesting playoff last week indeed. Brett, you did point one other name out that seemed a bit like a Jake bet. There is a name in the field, Wyndham Clark, and he spells his first name just like the way you spell the Wyndham Championship. And I looked at it. I looked for a reason to bet him if we're being honest, but the man's missed multiple of his multiple cuts in a row. Multiple cuts in a row at the Wyndham Championship. Like, there's just no reason for me to bet Wyndham Clark, so I'm gonna stay off. But you pointed it out, so I wanted to bring it up because that's definitely a Jake bet.
Yeah, Wyndham Clark at the Wyndham Championship, and you're not betting him? I don't know, Higgins. We should
I'm gonna
check
be
your
kicking
temp.
myself.
We should check your temp. I don't know. Does he have COVID? Are you vaxxed?
I'm gonna be kicking myself if we find out that Wyndham Clark makes the cut though, or if he finishes in like the top 40 because he's like plus 300 to finish in the top 40. That's how high the odds are for him to even just make the cut because he hasn't in so long.